Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I will present the Farm Fresh Seni Rahim Berhad. The introduction. Farm Fresh is a sole proprietorship operate in the provision of goods and services to consumers. Lloyd 1E, the company's founder, developed a love of nature and a profound affection for agriculture while growing up in a small town in Perak. In order to establish Farm Fresh, he bought a small farm in Johor and imported 60 Holstein Jersey cows from Australia. He did this since as he had noticed the local market was selling dairy products that had been reconstituted. He enlisted the help of his longtime friend Azmi Zainal and Khazanah Nasional, the government of Malaysia's strategic investment arm, to expand the rapidly expanding company. They have made the decision to seize the chance to grow its business using the internet and various social media platforms including Facebook, Instagram, Google and Twitter. A large range of products that are convenient for people of all age. Thus, they didn't set up their target audience toward any one age level. To ensure exceptional quality of taste and nutrition included in dairy products like fresh milk, flavor enhanced milk, yogurt milk, plant-based milk, and many more variations of them are prepared from the finest quality ingredients. The company's aims are entirely focused on supplying healthy, inexpensive, natural products to Malaysians and even individuals outside of the nation as opposed to maximizing commercial profits with the hopes of building a strong sense of community among the populace.
Now, I'm going to talk about 4 factors of production. First, land. Includes all natural resources which are derived from the earth and land itself. The return to land is rent. For example, Farm Fresh bought farm and cows as the foundations on producing their products. Also, they need to pay for their electrical and water bills as well as advertisement expenses. Second, labor, defined as people who contribute their energy mentally and physically in the production of goods and services. The return to labor are wages and salaries. As an example, Farm Fresh paid their worker with salaries that match to their expertise and positions. Next, capital, refers to the stock of goods created by society to be used in the production of goods and services. For instance, machinery, tools and equipment, building, factories and so on. The return to capital is interest. Example, Farm Fresh bought in Khazanah Nasional as an investor in the company, and that collaboration returns as continuous success. Finally, entrepreneur, human capability and ability to organize and combine land, labor and capital to develop production of goods and services. The return is profit. For instance, Farm Fresh not only used manpower and machinery in manufacturing their products but also the contribution from the cows. I will be explaining about basic economic concepts. First, scarcity. Humans have unlimited wants, but resources available are unlimited to fulfill their wants. For example, the Farm Fresh company have unlimited resources such as cost of production to satisfy all consumers' wants. Second, choices. Exists when company face scarcity to maximize the satisfaction, which is income or profit. Company needs to make wise decision to consider all the alternatives. Example, the company needs to choose the factor of production that can maximize the cost and income. Finally, opportunity cost, the second best alternative that must be forgot for another option to progress which brings more benefits and satisfactions. As an example, at one point, company have options to buy new machines or buy more cows to expand the business. Both of the options will cost the same, and if the company chooses to buy new machines, then the second best alternative that must be forgot, which is the opportunity cost. Next is basic economic problems. First is what to produce. The Farm Fresh company mainly produce dairy products. Should more fresh milk to be produced or plant-based milk? Determined by consumers' preferences, that must produce the product that maximizes profit. Next is for whom to produce. Should the company produce more dairy products for elderly or younger people? It is motivated to produce the product that can be consumed by all levels of society and targeted at variety social classes or groups, or those who have ability to purchase. Next is how to produce. Refers to the method or techniques of production. For example, should the company import more cows from another country or find local cows to produce milk? All this method uses capital-intensive labor, which is the best method that minimizes the cost. Finally, how much to produce. How much dairy milk should be produced? Decided based on consumers' demand and the resources availability. Has to utilize the scarce resources efficiently without any wastage.
The law of demand. Demand is defined as the various amounts of goods or services that the buyer intends to purchase at various feasible prices within a specific time frame. Consumers place all of their expectation on the line when they demand goods and services. The law of demand demonstrates that when a goods price rises, fewer people will buy it, and vice versa. The quantity demanded and the price of commodities often have a negative relationship according to the law of demand. Demand of fresh milk. Example, at ringgit price, the quantity demanded is 100. This is demand curve. At 40 ringgit, the quantity demanded is 40. And at 8 ringgit, the quantity demanded is 100. Determinants of demand. Price factor, upward movement. The quantity demanded will decrease from 100 units to 80 units if farm fresh product went from 8 ringgit to 10 ringgit. The demand curve will subsequently go upward as a result. Demand contraction is the term used to describe a decline in the quantity demanded. Downward movement. The quantity demanded will have increased from 60 units to 80 units if farm fresh product price drop from 20 ringgit to 10 ringgit. The demand curve will subsequently fall downward as a result. Demand expansion also refers to an increase in the quantity demanded. Non-price factor, taste and preference. Farm Fresh pays close attention to consumer preference and like while also staying current with popular beverage trends. To match the fashion season, new flavors of flavor milk based on fruity drinks, including banana milk, latte, strawberry and kurma milk are being developed. Because of consumer preference and taste, even while price don't change, this favorable adjustment enhance demand and cause the demand curve to move to the right. Price of related goods, substitute goods. Juice, tea, coffee and essentially all types of beverage are among of the many items and products that Farm Fresh has that are used in the beverage production industry and serve the same purpose. For instance, if milk price remain the same but replacement like juice are more expensive, demand for milk will rise at the same time, moving the demand curve for milk to the right. This demonstrates that juice is currently more expensive than milk and demonstrate the beneficial relationship between the two of goods.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Amir. I will explain about law of supply for farm fresh. The law of supply is defined as the producer's ability to supply quantities of goods and services at different possible price and time range, which is ceteris paribus. The law of supply has a positive relationship between the price of goods and the quantity supplied because when the price of goods increase, the quantity supplied for the goods will increase. As a supplier, they will increase the supply of goods when the price of goods increase to gain more profit. The table shows the quantity that the supplier will supply for each price. Next slide. It shows the supply curve for the price factor. The movement, upward movement and downward movement determine the price factor. Upward movement. If the price of farm fresh goods increases from 8 ringgit to 10 ringgit, the quantity supplied also will increase from 16 units to 80 units. As a result, there will be an upwards movement along the supply curve. Downward movement. If the price of farm fresh goods decreases from 12 ringgit to 10 ringgit, the quantity supplied also will decrease from 100 units to 80 units. As the result, there will be a downward movement along the supply curve. Next slide. This is the supply curve for non-price factor. The shifting, whether upward or inward, will be determined by the non-price factor. Non-price factor, technology. Farm Fresh has improved technology often to produce products sufficiently and smoothly. This will decrease the cost of production because they don't need workers to produce products faster. The Farm Fresh output will increase if the technology level increase to fulfill the demand. As a result, the supply curve shifts rightwards from S0 to S1 due to the increase. Government of economic policy. When the government didn't give subsidies to the suppliers, it will increase the production of goods and didn't encourage suppliers to do more products. This will decrease the supply of goods. It showed by the supply curve downwards from S0 to S1 due to a decrease.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Fakim. I will be explaining the topic on elasticity of demand and elasticity of supply. So what is elasticity of demand? Elasticity of demand is defined as the responsiveness of the quantity demand due to its determinants. So meaning that the change of the price will affect on the quantity demand. As you can see, the graph shows the demand curve for the Farm Fresh organization. You can see that the quantity demand drops from 100,000 to 80,000 units as the price changes from 8 ringgit to 10 ringgit. There are many factors of why this happens, because one of them being the level of income. And in this world, there are two types of income levels, which are high and low. Usually, the high income consumer are less sensitive towards the price because they don't usually care. They think that the product is very cheap. But the lower income are the opposite. They are more sensitive because they need to spend their money wisely and organize their finance properly. Since Farm Fresh has many substitutes, consumers are aware of it, meaning that the higher the substitute in the market, the more customers are sensitive towards the price change. The second factor is time frame. If the product has a short time frame, then consumer will be less sensitive towards the price. But if it's longer, then consumer are more sensitive towards the price because they can find other substitute to replace the product with much more cheaper price. Next is elasticity of supply. Elasticity of supply means that the responsiveness of the quantity supplied to the change of price. So meaning that the higher the price, the higher the quantity supplied, because seller would like to sell their goods for expensive price because so that they can get more profit. But if you look at the graph, you will see the supply curve is a flatter slope curve because of some determinants or factors. One of them is high perishability. If the product has a high perishability, then it is inelastic. But if it has a low perishability, it is elastic. But as a seller who sells dairy products, you wouldn't want to sell many of the product if it's easily spoiled, because dairy milk is easily spoiled. So if the product is spoiled, then no consumer will buy it. But the other determinant is the period of the production process. So if the period of the production process takes a long time to process, then it will be elastic. But if it's a short time to process, then it is inelastic, because as a seller, you want to have many supplies in a short period of time so that you can sell them to the consumer quickly.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Amir Nashiruddin Amiruddin, and I'm about to present to you about the market equilibrium. The market equilibrium is defined as a situation that occurs at any price at which the quantity demanded equals to the quantity supplied. Therefore, it is a situation when the quantity that buyers are willing to buy and the quantity that suppliers are willing to sell, which means there is an agreement between these two parties on about the price of the goods in the market. Thus, there is no reason to change the price and quantity in the market because of this agreement. The determination of equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. Like I explained earlier, we can achieve market equilibrium when there is a condition that the quantity demanded is equal to the quantity supplied. And as we look at the table that I prepared here, the market equilibrium is at the price of 9 ringgit and the quantity is 80 units. And we can see clearly that the quantity demanded is equal to the quantity supplied. Furthermore, there is actually other conditions in the market, which is shortage. Shortage is a condition when the quantity demanded is greater or higher than the quantity supplied, and the price is set below the equilibrium price. And surplus. Surplus is the condition when the quantity supplied is greater or higher than the quantity demanded, and the price is set above the equilibrium price. The demand and supply curve. Through this graph, we can detect the equilibrium price when there is an intersection between the demand curve and the supply curve. And the intersection point is where the equilibrium price is. As you can see that I mark it with the letter E at the graph. And above the equilibrium price is the surplus, and below the equilibrium price is the shortage. What is government intervention in the market? It is when the prices of certain goods and services can be intervened by the government in the market, and they can impose non-price control regulations. Government intervention includes levying taxes on various goods and services, such as income tax and cigarettes. And there are two types of taxes, which are direct tax and indirect tax. Direct tax is the tax levied by the government directly to a person or a company, and it is only charged once a year. This tax can't be shifting the burden of paying tax to others, and it is the biggest contribution to the government's income. And an example of direct tax is income tax. The government levies the indirect tax on goods or services, and it can be shifting the burden of paying taxes to others, unlike direct tax. This type of tax rate is already been set by the government. An example of indirect tax is sales tax and services tax. When the government decides to levy an indirect tax on producers, the production cost of products will increase, and it will encourage the price of products to increase also. But unfortunately, the supply of goods will decrease in the market. For the example, the government imposes a sales tax of 1 ringgit per unit, and let's say in this situation, the product is farm fresh cow milk. And let's say that the original price of the cow milk is 8 ringgit, 10 ringgit, 12 ringgit and 14 ringgit. And after the government imposes a sales tax of 1 ringgit per unit of the product, the prices will increase to 9 ringgit, 11 ringgit, 13 ringgit and 15 ringgit. This will affect the this will affect the demand and supply curve, as the supply curve will shift upwards because the prices increase, and it will cause the quantity supplied to increase also, because producer of the product will increase the supply to gain more profit. And then we will find the new equilibrium price is 9 ringgit and 50 cents, and the new equilibrium quantity is 70 units, and the amount of tax burden paid by the buyer is 70 ringgit and the seller is 70 ringgit.
Lastly, conclusion. According to our findings about Farm Fresh, we may conclude that its products were known mostly by youngsters or children. It is because they really like drinks fresh made for their growth in the future. Moreover, Farm Fresh have various types of flavors that they can choose what their favorite flavors is, and some adults also will love it. Based on our reports above, we can conclude that Farm Fresh products will affect the demand and supply curve in current market.
The quantity demand will decrease if price of the products increases. It is because the products have a lot of another substitute products that are more cheaper. Furthermore, price elasticity of demand is elastic because its responsiveness. If the price increases, the supply of the quantity also increases. Thus, the price elasticity of the supply is elastic. Lastly, market equilibrium will be affected due to changes in quantity demanded and supply that cause shortage and surplus.